And so I was always sort of prepared for this idea that I could not mess up. And I think a lot of women, especially Black women, can talk about this, whether or not you're an attorney or some other professional, that you feel this tremendous need not to mess up because there's more of a spotlight on us. I did residency in Little Rock, and so one of the experience there was, again, if I thought that there were few, people of color in the medical profession up north here in Chicago, there were even less in Little Rock, and so frequently people were not used to seeing a Black physician, and especially a Black female physician, and so I was frequently referred to as the nurse, or they wanted to call me by my first name, which is why I've been very insistent as my career has gone on to be called Dr. Myrna, because I was frequently asked, well, what's your first name? So that they could call me, Alexa or Miss so and so. And I'm like, no, it is Doctor. And that didn't really happen with my male counterparts. Some of the other things that I would experience is just by being a woman, and probably was exacerbated by being a Black woman as well, is that nurses would tend to not have a problem paging me in the middle of the night, but my male counterparts, they didn't want to call. And it wasn't that they were meaner, they just didn't want to bother them, but they didn't mind bothering me at 2 or 3 in the morning to say, I was looking through someone's chart and I don't think they had a bowel movement today. And I'm like, well, they're sleeping now. But there was less of a hesitancy to interrupt the female physicians. It felt like, well, you're supposed to be helping us. And so there were lots of those little microaggressions. I also dealt with sometimes, people would make remarks. I remember I was on an ICU rotation, and we had an attending who was referring to a patient that wasn't doing so well. So it was time to have a conversation about, maybe pulling, some life support off of him or some life preserving measures. And she made a comment that, well, those people are really religious. And she was referring to those people as this Black family and not realizing that I was there.